lights?
I never sat over here.
Do we need anything special?
Yeah, welcome.
It's like the more important seat.
I know, I was like, sorry.
It is now 7:01 p.m. This is a regular meeting of the Kaneland Board of Education. We would like to inform all board meeting attendees that this meeting is being live streamed and archived for access at any time by our community members on the internet within 24 to 48 hours of the meeting's conclusion. Bonjour.
We're starting the meeting.
And a pledge of allegiance, please, Mr. McCauley.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And a roll call, please.
Mr. Mankivsky.
Here.
Mr. Kleisner.
Here.
Dr. Lawler.
Here.
Mr. McCauley.
Here.
Mrs. Simmons.
Here.
Mr. Stalka.
Here.
Mr. Cook is absent.
With 6 members present, we have a quorum. Is there anything the board would like to move from the consent to new business? All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Mr. Kleisner.
Aye.
Mrs. Simmons.
Aye.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Dr. Lawler.
Aye.
Mr. Stalka.
Aye.
Mr. Mankivsky.
Aye. Motion carries 6-0. The agenda is approved. It is now time for board superintendent salutes. I will turn it over to Dr. Rowland.
We have a number of them this evening, but I'm going to start with Dr. Bogan's going to do a salute for our food service.
Yes. Tonight I just wanted to take a moment to recognize and celebrate our food service. Director Gigi Statler and her entire Kaneland food service department in honor of National School Lunch Week. Each day, this team works tirelessly to ensure that students have access to healthy, nutritious meals that help fuel their learning. Their dedication goes beyond simply serving food. They work to create welcoming environments and accommodate a diverse dietary needs, as well as maintaining consistency in the care and professionalism that they show each day. They definitely have a positive impact on our students, and this just cannot be overstated for our schools. So on behalf of the district, I wanted to extend our sincere gratitude to Gigi and her entire team for their hard work, their commitment, and the vital role that they play in our school community. Thank you for everything that you do for all of our students and for all of our staff.
We also, this evening, are saluting our Board of Education Art Award winners. So it's a pretty packed house. I'm assuming that's what most people, not the agenda. That's all right. It's actually, this is one of our favorite events of the year. We get a chance to recognize our amazing art educators on their hard work and expertise. And we get to recognize the students on their exceptional art that was completed during the 24-25 school year. When I'll come to the podium in a moment, we'll call up the art teacher from each school and they'll introduce the works of art from each school. But I want to point out that this art that you see in front of you, first of all, was produced by our students, which always blows my mind. I get to walk into some of the art classes and see what they're doing, but to see the final product is fantastic. This art will hang in the district office for the next 3 years. It starts in the main hallway. So as people enter our district office, they get to see the amazing products of our students. The next year it goes to my office, which I absolutely love because I get to enjoy this for an entire year. And then it goes to our conference room where we host a number of meetings so people can see the quality of art and dedication that we have in this district. So it makes us very proud. And we love seeing the young faces smile as they're recognized. So I'm going to come to the podium, and then we're going to have the teachers call each student up and talk about each piece of art. At the end, if you could please stop in the cafeteria so that we can take a picture of all of our recognized artists with our Director of Communications, Mr. Chavez. So as you're leaving, students, please stop in the cafeteria. We're going to do a big group photo of all of our amazing artists. All right? Okay. All right, doesn't like me today. All right, so we're gonna begin this evening with John Stewart Elementary and Ms. Gregg. What?
You want to?
Yeah, I can hold it.
Okay. My name is Carleen Gregg. I am the art teacher at John's.
The mic
This
is
is-
so I can hear you at home. We have a shocking number of people that watch our board meetings, so I want to make sure they get to hear it too.
Okay. My name is Carleen Gregg. I am the art teacher at Kaneland John Stewart. This is Lainey. Lainey is now in 6th grade, which breaks my heart because Lainey has been with me and through recesses, art clubs, every art club. And she has just been an amazing student. This is actually her second time of being nominated for the art board purchase because she is so dedicated and well deserving. For her art piece, we talked, this actually wrapped up their 5th grade year pretty much, and it basically all through the years because we do a lot of studying with primary and secondary colors, but now we've moved into intermediate colors, which is like your tertiary colors. So they had to come up with the color wheel, and then from that color wheel, they had to come up with intersecting lines and then more geometric shapes within that piece. Then they had to fill in those blanks as well with warm and cool colors, as well as complementary colors. And so which we've all talked about many times. My students know that color and that I really make them study the value of what color can do for an art piece, as well as how it can grab a viewer's attention in their design pieces. So that's that.
All right, thank you very much. There we go.
Leonard. This is Leonard. He is now in 5th grade. He did this in 4th grade. A little story about Leonard. I remember when I got Leonard in kindergarten, and it was like the first day of school, and just they got to know who I was, and then I asked them to draw whatever they wanted and what they enjoyed or what their favorite thing was. And I gave him a piece of paper, and then he came up and showed it to me, and it was a dragon. And Leonard loves drawing dragons, and my mouth hit the floor. I could not believe a kindergartner drew what he did, the amount of detail he added to that dragon. So Leonard, just all around, just a gifted student in art. But this is his piece. We studied 1-point perspective. So I told the students they could pick any room. It could be a kitchen, it could be a bedroom, it could be any room, and to make it their dream room. And Leonard chose a bedroom, and all the way down to the posters on the wall, the chair, his computer, they had to bring it to the vanishing point, to that 1-point perspective point. And he did such an amazing job for a 4th grader to learn such a complicated skill. And his coloring, superb, because it's done in color pencil. and they were not allowed to leave any white space. And so he did an amazing job. Thank you, Leonard. Out here, Leonard.
Excuse me. Up next from McDowell, Miss Kuguski. Choking up apparently.
Before I call my first student, I just wanted to talk about how much I love this night, because I get to see the work of all of my colleagues, and unless you have students that go to a different district, you really don't realize how exemplary the art department is here for Kaneland. They keep me on my toes, and it's a friendly, competitive nature that keeps us all working so hard. So I'm just always super impressed with all of the work that we see here tonight. So our second place person is Kaylee Intihar, who's right here, super dressed up. So Kaylee did this in first grade. It's a rabbit. We talked about texture and adding pattern. And a big thing that we talk about, especially in the beginning, is how my best artists always take their time so that we're not rushing through our work. And Kaylee really took that to heart and worked very hard. It's the background is a crayon resist using oil pastel and watercolor, and then the bunny itself is made just with Sharpie. But she clearly spent a lot of time on it and got a lot of detail, and I just love it. I think it's incredibly charming, just like Kaylee herself. She is a hard worker and a super awesome student, and I'm so happy to have her for several more years. So way to go, Kaylee.
Congratulations.
All right, and then the next one's right here.
This one?
Okay, and then we have Isla Joseph. All right, and Isla did this in second grade. Here, come stand closer to your work here. So we started out with a gray paper, and then so that they could work both light and dark into their picture. We used my favorite medium, which is oil pastel, which I say a lot is a lot like drawing with paint, because you're able to blend colors. And you can see that Isla really took that to heart and did a lot of blending herself. The colors represented in this owl are not straight from the package. That's a lot of things that she used the color wheel to kind of experiment, made tints by adding white to colors to make them lighter, a little bit of shade to make colors darker. And again, she just put a lot of time and effort into it. And I just, again, think it's incredibly charming. It's a barn owl, and perfectly framed by the wood on the sides and the bottom. And again, Isla is an incredibly gifted artist naturally. That doesn't come from me necessarily, but she works very hard. And everything she does is beautiful, just like this. So I'm looking forward to having it back at McDowell eventually. So,
We're going to keep it for a couple of years.
Very proud of you. Good job, honey.
Congratulations. All right, up next, we'll go to Shields with Ms. Grigg.
Hey, Kurt, why don't you invite parents if they want a picture?
Yeah, if you
they
guys
can come
want-
up
yeah,
here,
pi-
you can
please.
come up. If you wanna come
Don't
up
be
for
shy
a
if you want to grab pictures.
All right, Amelia. Okay, this is Amelia Lewis. She created this piece in third grade, so now she's in fourth. And in third grade, we do, Carlene had talked a lot about at Stewart how she really focuses on color a lot with her students. And I think we can all agree that color is a huge part of creating art. Not always, but it is a very large part often. And so in third grade, we really dive deep into the study of color. So with this particular piece, they had to work on making tints and shades. So adding the black and the white to the green for her scoops of ice cream. And the kids love to do dessert pictures because why not? It's delicious. And
Looks good.
yeah, it does look delicious. And then they
they love to splatter paint. So then we grabbed our spray bottles and sprayed the background to give it a really touch of whimsy and fun to the picture. Amelia is a fabulous artist. Everything she creates is beautiful. She tries very hard, puts a lot of effort into everything she makes, and I just look forward to seeing what she creates this year and the years going forward. So nice job, Amelia.
There you go, congratulations.
And then Izzy. This is Izzy Ramirez. She is now in 5th grade, so she created this in 4th grade. And this project was all about materials exploration. So first they learned a lot about outer space and the Milky Way in particular, and then they designed their background using paint, oil pastels, chalk pastels, color pencil, you name it, she chose it and used it and did it in a very thoughtful way. And then they got to experience using metal. And they did a little metal tooling. They carved into the metal a spaceship design, which they later then cut out and glued it. And then she went back and added paint details with the fire coming out the back of the spaceship. Again, none of those materials are easy to control and manipulate. They're inherently messy and sloppy and like to take on a mind of their own. And Izzy had a lot of control and command over those materials, and she did it really well. Our teachers are constantly talking to their students about something called craftsmanship. So using the materials well, keeping the materials within their control, and she just exudes that with this project. This was not an easy task to keep those materials within her control and manipulate them to create such a beautiful piece. Just like all the artists tonight, she's an exceptional artist. Everything she touches is beautiful, and she's super creative. And I'm gonna miss her a lot next year too. So, good job, Izzy.
Congratulations. Okay, up next we have Blackberry Creek with Ms. Berth.
Nothing in the back. All right. Our first piece is from Landon. Come on up, Landon. Okay. So Landon is now in 2nd grade, but he made this piece when he was in 1st grade. And we were actually kind of basing this on an artist and then also a technique behind it as well. So we looked at Claude Monet and his tulip fields with a windmill. And with this piece, one of the things they were really focusing on is how they use the space on their paper. And we were really talking about how if you're making a landscape outside, it should have a horizon line that divides, or not divides, but has where the ground and sky come together. And then there should be lines leading back towards it so that things in the front of the piece are a little bit larger than the things in the back of the piece. Which is kind of why we also put our windmill nice and close so you could see all of the detail that he did on his windmill. The technique we were using for this piece was just like how Claude Monet would have done, little dabs of color on a paintbrush and kind of put those in the spaces to create the texture of all those tulips filling those spaces. And he just did a really good job kind of controlling that and understanding what to do with it. And the detail on the windmill itself, he did in oil pastel, which is kind of a chunky material to control. And he did a phenomenal job doing all of the different lines for the patterns on that as well, and included a little door too. Landon is an amazing artist, as all of our artists are tonight. He is probably one of the most creative thinkers that I've seen, especially at his age level. We'll be going through a project and you can look at him and you literally just see the wheels turning. And he might not start what he's doing right away, but when he starts it and his idea comes to fruition, it's impressive what he can actually do and how he thinks the way he does with what he creates. So congratulations, Landon. Way to go. And then our other piece is from Cami. Cami, come on up. Get to see it nice and framed. So this is Cami. She created this piece when she was in 4th grade. She's now in 5th grade. And once again, we were looking at an artist for inspiration. We looked at Vasily Kandinsky for this one. And he had an interesting aspect of his life. He had synesthesia, where he also was able to hear and see colors kind of simultaneously. So the background itself was done with the idea that you would be hearing and seeing certain colors and kind of what those meant to you. So it was a very free-formed background that we created for this piece. And then the portrait that was put on top is basically a juxtapose on that. So if the background's very colorful and freeform, the portrait is very detailed and only with a black and white value scale. And so the portrait on top of it, she created just with pencil and just understanding how to create lighter and darker tints and shades with the pressure and layering of that pencil. Self-portraits can be tricky to do as far as figuring out proportions. So with mirrors set up on our tables, they were set at that task to try to figure out how we can visually divide up our faces into the portions and get them drawn correctly, which is a challenge. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that before. It's not easy to do, and she did a really great job with it. Between the value and the texture, even in her hair, just the little details in it, the piece comes together very nice, and she did a fantastic job with it. Cami also always puts her best into her artwork. She's a very peaceful creator in the art room. She's another very thoughtful creator, and even taking pieces home sometimes to finish if she has ran out of time during our class. So very dedicated to her creating as well. Congratulations.
Congratulations, great job. Excuse me. Up next, we have Harder Middle School with Ms. Farr.
So I do a little something different with the way I asked these students to produce art that was their own. It wasn't a class assignment, so it was a little different. I've done that a couple times, and it's been really rewarding for me to see what they would produce on their own, and also rewarding probably for them as well. I give a lot of artistic freedom in middle school, as they come with a very strong background in these elements and principles and composition and contrast. All the elements and principles are really strong from our elementary school teachers. So this piece here, I asked the artist to come up with an artist statement, and what I did was I kind of, I've got excerpts from that. So I asked Giovanna and Isabella, who are twins, you guys need to come up. Isabella and Giovanna are twins. And I asked them to create a combined work of art. They each have distinctive styles. I also communicated with them and gave them time in the summer to produce their art. And it's not the usual process. This approach gave them a chance to be 100% creative. And Mom helped brainstorm ideas at home. So they said, our artwork looks like a mountain landscape, showing the talents of two different artists. Our art can be described as two twin mountains, like its name states, created by twin sisters. So the title is Las Sierras Jimenez. I'll try. And it means the twin peaks. Yeah. You can see a mountain range with a large lake, yet within that lake is a reflection that transitions into another reflection. This second reflection of a different mountain is created by a separate individual. I guess as a viewer, I ask, which is the reflection? Who is the twin of whom? So you really actually could turn this upside down. The artist, writing their artist statement, would like us to look at the contrast in the image and reflect on how two very different yet similar people created this work together. The principle of unity is important as written by the twins. They wrote, "Two artists work together to create a piece of art. This artwork indeed shows unity." Unity is one of the principles of design, so having a piece that's unified is important. Giovanna and Isabella went on to write that space and texture were important. They explained the process where they used charcoal oil, pastels, blending sticks, and pencil. And the blending stick is called a tortillon, and that's used to blend many aspects of this multimedia piece. The topic of this piece, according to the artists, is to reveal the similarities and differences between twins and to work together, despite those differences, on one piece of art. They also sought to, in their words, depict emotions such as serenity, the calmness one can receive and feel just by being in nature, gazing at a mountain range and seeing their reflection in a lake. There's a lot of use of the word reflection, isn't there? Because it's really what it's all about. Each artist had their own goals. Giovanna sought to try new materials and media, and Isabella was looking to stretch her creativity and bring it to life. Both saw this as an opportunity to grow as artists. And I think we can all agree that they created a stunning reflection of self in this artwork, representing the two Twin Peaks. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. They're both now freshmen at Kaneland. So thank you very much.
Maisie.
I came up without my readers.
Yep.
Oh, it's been a while for me. But okay. Maisie, come on up. Maisie's also a freshman in Genoa this year. Maisie is known for her precise retro art portraits in mixed media. She is always creating art, as well as Giovanna and Isabella. And she is known for experimenting with materials and combinations of materials, with a systematic combination of materials like a scientist. She just would always try things. She would try watercolor with pastel on top of it and charcoal on top of that, and then torn paper and all kinds of stuff. In this pastel drawing of flowers, you see swirling blue. She says, "This is just flowers, but it really reflects me. For instance, the warm colors represent me, and the blue represents other forces in my life." Maisie mentions that the blue swirling designs contrast with and contradict the flowers. There are many parts of us humans and many forces in our lives. So that was much more than I even understood as an art viewer. It was very nice to have that explanation. And we're not always afforded that. Sometimes you go into a museum and they have a little blurb about the art, and that does help, but oftentimes it's really a mystery what the artist is thinking. Maisie states that flowers don't just grow, they change, and says the blue in my drawing gives it purpose, making it more than just a portrait of flowers. Her willingness to experiment reminds us that art is not only about technique, but also about discovery. Through art, students learn to see the world differently, developing a capacity to communicate without words. Works like this affirm why art education in schools is essential, nurturing the invisible thinking that takes place inside the creative process. That kind of insight, seeing color, contrast, and emotion as parts of a personal story, show the power of art education for every school student. Art gives us language for self-expression, empathy, and understanding the world around them. So thank you so much. These are incredible artists. And
All right, and next up from Kaneland High School, Ms. Vandalinder Birchfield.
Which is, it's fine. This was, I'm Mrs. Vandalinder Birchfield. The students call me VB, Mrs. VB. And I teach most of the classes with the exception of photography. This is a photography piece. This was done by Kayla in Mrs. Englehart's class last year. She was a sophomore at the time. And what the project was, in photography, they start to experiment with different materials and ways to alter a photo without using the computer. So what this is a landscape that has foil around it. So there's these colorful things around the outside to frame it, and they've had their camera inside of a foil sort of thing to create just some abstraction. And really having the students sort of experiment with those, play with those ideas to find different angles. So tilting the camera, getting at a different perspective, trying to really experiment with that is what the idea was behind this project. And it really was a nice example of that project and that technique. So they did a bunch of different stuff. So this was that example in the photography class. Okay. And then this one was done by Serenity Roberts. So thanks. And it's a graphics done with on digital, but this was done with in the AP art class, which is advanced placement. It's the top art class at the very pinnacle. After you take the beginning art class, we got 3D and 2D and photography 1. Then you take the 2-level class. There's a studio class as well. This is AP art. It's taught every other year, and it's college credit, and students really, after they've taken a few art classes, this is where they develop their own style and really try to express their own thoughts, feelings on the world, on their artwork, and really try to stretch their abilities. Serenity really focused on storytelling and character development in her work. So a lot of her paintings that she did in AP and her digital stuff, she focused with a lot of different materials in a 2D portfolio. You can do 2D, 3D, and drawing. So she chose 2D, which is photography, drawing, painting, anything flat. And she really played with, in this one, foreshortening. There's different techniques here. So the hand coming out is fuzzy at the beginning as it's coming at you. So she's really playing around with composition too. There's lots of things that move around to bring your eye in and around. And then all of these characters are developed herself. So she's developing her own style and then creating, this was for a mock comic book cover. So she was coming up with her storytelling within that comic book. So this is kind of the pinnacle of what she's trying to tell. And it's a good example of really strong work at the sort of end of the high school art cycle. Okay, so, and that's where she is.
All right, so again, I want to thank everybody for coming and supporting these wonderful artists and this amazing art. As a reminder, this art will be featured at the district office for the next 3 years. First in the main hallway, next in my office, and then the third year in the main conference room. So if you swing by the district office, check it out. Also, please, on your way out, please stop in the cafeteria, get a group photo with Mr. Chavez so we can celebrate these fantastic young artists. And I hope everyone in the crowd is very proud of not just their students, but all the students we saw tonight. So.
Well, you're right. You're right. If I'd had you, but I didn't. So.
All right, Dr. Bogan, do you have anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Nothing. Members of the board? Good job. Anything? Absolutely. Right.
Go right ahead.
Absolutely.
I know, Mom's got the good camera.
The board appreciates everyone in attendance this evening and invites you to stay as we move on to the new business portion of the meeting.
Well, they got that message.
We understand that not everyone is able to stay for the entire meeting, and we wanted to make sure you know that this is an open meeting, so you're able to come and go as you need. And we look forward to seeing you at future meetings. Tonight's consent agenda contains the following information. Action items: the approval of the treasurer's report September 2025, approval of the meeting minutes from the September 29th, 2025 meeting, approval of personnel, approval of destruction of audio recordings from the closed session meetings from April 2024, and approval of the 2026-2027 budget calendar. Informational items: employee position report, the enrollment report September 30th, 2025, first quarter budget report, student suspension data report, Freedom of Information Act report. I will now entertain a motion to approve the consent items listed.
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Mrs. Simmons.
Aye.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Dr. Lawler.
Aye.
Mr. Stallcup.
Aye.
Mr. Mankivsky.
Aye.
Mr. Kleisner.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. The consent agenda is approved. We'll move into public comment. We use the public comment section as an opportunity to listen to our stakeholders. The board does not debate or engage in conversation during this time. I'd like to remind everyone to state your name and village of residence for the record. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Public comment is a maximum of 30 minutes with a 20-minute total length of time for any one subject. Those who speak are asked to maintain a tone of courtesy and civility. And our first person for this evening is Sheila Albano.
Hello there, I'm Sheila Albano from Elburn, and I'm going to talk about something unusual for me. After, I believe it was the last board meeting or 2 meetings before, a woman who was just here, whose name is escaping me completely, came up and asked you to get into the discussion about KIPLA and what was going to happen at the high school level, or whether or not it was going to happen, and to please do that sooner than later so that they can make their decisions for their families. And she and I had a very wonderful conversation out in the hallway. People probably know I was not in favor of the KIPLA in the building. It's not the program. It certainly wasn't the kids. It was the entire way that program got put together, and how it didn't get reported to the people in the community. But I think I wanted to come up and say, because I haven't seen it on the agenda and I don't know what's going on behind the doors, but I do believe they deserve that to be a discussion publicly, perhaps more than once. She had some good ideas for maybe having a KIPLA class or 2 at the high school, since I don't see any way you're going to, at this point, make a actual KIPLA building or KIPLA area, whatever, for them at the high school. I think it behooves all of us to embrace that and let us have conversations about it publicly. So those of us who are kind of on both sides of it can stand up and say how we feel about it. I would like to see you kind of promised that you would be looking into that and reporting on that when we had to shut that building down. And I haven't really seen it publicly. So please think about doing that and adding it to your agenda sooner than later. If you need new committees like we're doing for everything else, great, let's do it. I think they deserve that. The kids deserve that. And the other kids deserve that. The kids who are not going to be in the KIPLA and the funding and how it goes back and forth, they deserve it too. So thanks.
Thank you. All right, on to new business. I'm sorry, committee updates. It's now time for an update from our committee meetings that met this evening. Education Committee, Dr. Lawler.
Yeah, we had a great meeting. James started the meeting by talking about new additions to the course handbook and what we proposed. We were really excited to see that there's going to be more AP and honors classes with weighted credit. These are proposals that are coming through us next meeting, right? And that seems to be on our trajectory of a culture of excellence, so that seemed all great. And then Fran gave us a kind of a breakdown of if money wasn't a consideration, here are the things that we could do to help make sure we support our special ed students in the best ways possible. There were really exciting ideas. We would have to figure out how we could achieve those ideas, but I do think it's important we consider them and see how we can add that to our mission and our plan. So that's my summary. Did I get everything? Not bad for no notes.
No. All right, Human Resources Committee?
That meeting ended up being canceled. The board members on that committee were not able to attend this evening, so we'll just move that to today's agenda items to our meeting in November.
All right, on to new business. The first item of new business is discussion and approval of insurance consultant RFP. Dr. Bogan, if you please would provide us with additional information.
Yes, I wanted to give an update from the Health Insurance Committee. The committee met earlier this year on September 25th to really kick off our school year. And one of the main things that we did at that meeting was review our current services provided by our current broker, which is the Horton Group. The Horton Group was selected previously through an RFP process back in the spring of 2023, and has been working with the district since then. They've helped us with health plan renewals. They monitor marketing trends for us. They do some benchmarking data. They support compliance reporting, as well as some work with communications regarding benefits to employees. We currently are in the third year of that 3-year contract. And after review of the services, the committee is recommending that we move forward with a new RFP process for brokerage services that would take effect in the 26-27 plan year. One of the things about the current RFP timeline is that the release of this would begin on October 23rd. So we would make the RFP public on October 23rd with a notice, in our local paper, as well as postings, and invite insurance brokerages to submit their proposals. We would be looking to have proposals due by November 18th with a selection process throughout November and early December, with the goal of bringing a final candidate to the board for approval at the December 15th board meeting. I think one of the things that's different about this RFP than the last one is this timeline does include a small change in terms of how the contract would run. I think one of the challenges we saw last time was we had a broker in place for many years. The new broker came on board and there was really no overlap period. So we ended one contract June 30, we started a new contract July 1. And so the new brokerage firm didn't help with that initial renewal because our plan renews July 1st as well. So in this, we would be looking for a fourth quarter overlap for the new contract. And so that would put us in a position that we would have support from our current broker as well as time to onboard the new broker, so that they would be able to also be part of that renewal process for that July 1 plan start date. The Health Insurance Committee, along with administration, is recommending the approval of the release of the RFP as outlined with the proposed timeline. But I'd be happy to answer any questions, or I know Mrs. Simmons is also our board member on the Health Insurance Committee.
We're not bidding out the actual coverage. This is just the brokerage.
This is just the
markup
brokerage services.
fees.
So, yep, we are a self-insured plan, so we're not looking to change anything with our Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance coverage. This would just be for the insurance consultant that we work with on those renewals, on sort of those ongoing compliance things, communications, all of that.
Any other discussion?
This is a one-year agreement?
We would be looking for a 3-year agreement.
So the round numbers, the 175,000 is 3 years?
That's for 3 years, correct?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what our current contract was for.
Sure, okay.
All right, any other discussion, questions? I will entertain a motion that the Board of Education approves the release of the RFP for insurance consultant services in accordance with the proposed timeline.
So moved. Second.
And a roll call, please.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Dr. Lawler.
Aye.
Mr. Stalcup.
Aye.
Mr. Mankivsky.
Aye.
Mr. Kleisner.
Aye.
Mrs. Simmons.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. The release of the RFP for insurance consultant services in accordance with the proposed timeline is approved. The second item of new business is the adjustment to the summer school principal stipend. Dr. Rowling, if you would please provide us with additional information.
I'm going to hand this one off to Dr. Atkins.
Good evening, thank you. Every summer, our district offers an opportunity for our students to explore, enrich their learning, as well as have some credit recovery options. We have summer school principals who then are hired to run that programming. They typically start in the fall with getting the programming together, outlining all the behind-the-scenes, off-stage things, logistics and organization and such. Then they spend the winter months hiring for those positions, running registration, and then during the summer they supervise the summer school. This past summer we were unable to fill our 612 summer school principal, so thank you to the members of cabinet that filled in on all those different days as the summer school principals. But in having some conversation with the prior summer school principal and the existing EC5 summer school principal from this past summer, they said that we needed to look at some comps, and so we did. We looked at our comparatives from the area and noted that we were a little on the low side. We do want to maintain some attractiveness to filling those positions. So as we looked at it as a cabinet, we decided to bring forward a recommendation to the board to increase that stipend to a $5,000 stipend. Typically, we have a Kaneland employee do that work. In the past, it has been some elementary administrators, assistant principals, and then more recently, it's been teaching staff who are looking to kind of have that administrative experience as they're looking to advance their skills. And so it is a valuable program for us. We do intend to run summer school for as long as it's viable, and it does take a lot of work. The kids do not just show up on that first day to a, oh, we'll put it all together right now scenario. It takes work and it starts right now. So with your permission, we'd like to increase that stipend and get summer school kicked off for next summer.
Do we think 5,000's attractive?
Yeah, if you look at the memo I gave you, the average is right at about 45, 75 with our comps. But we want to maintain that attractiveness, and we want to do that on a cyclical nature so that we're not coming back to the board every single year. We want to kind of reach a little bit so that we can then keep it stable, let Jackie budget for it properly over the next couple of years, and then that way we're on like a 3 to 5 year cycle to come back and look at that again. So it's definitely not at the top, but it's also a little bit beyond where the median is, just so that we can maintain that competitiveness for the next couple of years.
Any other discussion? Questions? I will now entertain a motion that the Board of Education approve the presented adjustment to the summer school principal stipend.
So moved. Second.
And a roll call, please.
Dr. Lawler.
Aye.
Mr. Stalcup.
Aye.
Mr. Mankivsky.
Aye.
Mr. Kleisner.
Aye.
Mrs. Simmons.
Aye.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. The adjustment to the summer school stipend is approved.
Thank you.
It is now time for the superintendent board report. Dr. Rowling, do you have anything to share?
Yes, I do. We've been bringing our recipients of our Knights of Excellence program to the board. Today, Mr. Chavez and I were out on prize patrol, visiting classrooms. And so the following staff have been recognized for going above and beyond to make the Kaneland experience fantastic for students, staff, and families. Ms. Colomb, Ms. Ramsey, Ms. Yagi, Ms. Dixon, Mr. Payton, Mr. Lockman, Ms. Ward, Ms. Pryor, Ms. Graham, Mr. Wenz, Ms. Francis, Ms. Deich, Mr. West, Ms. Sutton, Ms. Franz, Ms. Aller, and Ms. Schertzer. So all have been recognized by either students, staff, or family members for going above and beyond. And a reminder, if you've had a great experience and you want to recognize somebody on our staff, the link is available on our main website, and we'd love to hear how our team is making Kaneland a better place. Congratulations to Faith Mashman for winning first in editorial writing, and Audrey Noring for winning first in the news writing at the ISU journalism competition earlier this month. Congratulations to our boys soccer team for being conference co-champs this year. They'll open postseason play on Friday up at Rockford East, I believe. Congratulations to our percussion section of the Marching Knights. They have finished with top percussion section honors at all 3 of their competitions this season. And if you've never seen them perform, both on the field and on the track with our students, it's an absolute pleasure. The Kaneland High School Fall Play, the Philadelphia Story, is having performances this upcoming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tickets and schedules are available online. I would encourage anyone to go check that out. We'll be hosting a CAC meeting tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. in the high school library. Boys and Girls Cross Country is hosting a meet this Saturday at 10 a.m. That will be the cross country conference meet. And our last home football game is next Friday on the 24th. There will only be one game at 7:30. There is no underlevel at this game. This is going to be senior recognition night for football, cheer, dance, and marching band. So that's all I have for the evening.
All right. Dr. Bogan?
Nothing this evening.
All right. Sophia Schwal?
I have a mic this time, but
Got to follow the routine, right?
Good evening. I hope everyone had an amazing 3-day weekend. This past week, Kaneland High School celebrated their 2025 homecoming week. To start off that week, the class of 2026 had their senior sunrise on Monday morning on the football field with raffle prizes provided by parents, food, and photo opportunities for the students. We had our annual homecoming parade that was located in Caneville this year, where sports teams, clubs, and Powder Puff lined up and paraded. Following the parade, we had our junior versus senior Powder Puff game where both teams battled hard, but the seniors ultimately came out on top once again. The class of 2026 has now won 2 years in a row. The Student Council hosted their annual homecoming pep rally on Friday. The assembly featured all 44 homecoming nominees walking, and then top 11 was announced. This was decided by student votes. Then there was the game, class dodgeball, we did tug of war, and then we ended our assembly with the high school administration being pied in the face for answering an incorrect trivia answer. On Friday night, the Kaneland football team faced Rochelle High School and unfortunately fell to them 21-20. This moves their record to 5-2, and this Friday they will travel to play LaSalle, Peru for their last conference game of the season. On Saturday, all the Knights celebrated the homecoming dance, which was located at the high school from 7 to 10, and the students gave very positive feedback and appreciation to Student Council for planning it. This week, not much is planned for the student body, but fall sports will continue to progress to the end of their seasons with some senior nights and sectionals starting. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any board members have anything to add? All right, are there any topics for future agenda that the board would like to discuss?
Yeah, I would like to discuss one topic. It's been brought to my attention by a teacher who collaborated with other teachers in regards to the math curriculum for the grade school. This individual had shared a bunch of their thoughts on the topic. I just wanted to share it and just kind of follow up on it. Having to stay on a strict cadence for lessons, it leaves little time to differentiate during math time for lower students. Although there are opportunities at WIN or for those that get MTSS, and especially higher kids who won't get opportunities for enrichment, sticking to this strict cadence also doesn't allow for time to use parts of the curriculum that the kids came with, such as games, etc. Biggest problem is not being able to use any supplemental games, lessons, tools to enhance learning topics, apart from what is provided in the curriculum kits. Many teachers know what they are learning and they cannot use that this year. Because the district wants to know how well this curriculum works on its own, this is only putting students at a disadvantage just so administrators can see how well students perform with the curriculum and not trusting teachers to do what they know is best for students. It's not highly engaging for students, especially those at younger grades. So this is the concern right now, and the biggest thing is this district procedure to assess the new curriculum. So.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to do is have Dr. Horn and his team bring something to a future meeting and talk about not only what does the implementation year look like, what is the plan for the long run, and what is where teachers have that flexibility. So I would like to have them bring that to a future meeting. We can definitely provide that update.
Okay, great.
Do we need to?
I can always provide the week too, but
I'd be very curious to know what our cumulative list of extracurricular activities, clubs, sports, etc. are, and what kind of attendance, enrollment in them. You know, how many people go to chess club or are in these different activity groups.
We used to get like a presentation and a report on this. This was years ago. We haven't done it in a long time. It might be worth looking at that again.
Yeah. Just, I'm sure I don't know all of the ones we were offering.
yeah, is that something the board would like to see?
Sure.
And we can work that into the rotation. I think that there's, as it relates to the seasonal things, we can work that in as we bring those seasonal athletes and activities, and then for maybe the year-long things, we can work that into one of the mid-year ones.
Any other topics? All right, it's now time for the second round of public comments. And seeing none, we will close. There is no closed session tonight scheduled for tonight's meeting. After the vote to adjourn, the recording of tonight's meeting is concluded. It is now 8 p.m. and I will entertain a motion to adjourn the regular meeting.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Nay.